the stuff, the stuff, the stuff, the stuff, the stuff, the stuff. The stuff, the stuff, the stuff, the stuff, the stuff, the stuff. Gotta have it. The stuff.
I think I'm really fascinated by the way in which people are able to believe that policies will not affect people that they know.
Right. It's a surprise to them.
Right. And I'm saying this especially for people who did vote for this person and who are supporting these these fallacies.
Yeah.
Right, like these fallacies of a wall, these fallacies of nationalism. But I'm amazed that you could vote for something and then be surprised, right? Like that your neighbor is deported.
Yeah. Like it didn't occur to you, like you didn't make that connection.
And it's not because it means that you weren't thinking about the humanity of your neighbors to begin with. Right, like you were only concerned with them as far as they performed in proximity to you, as far as how they supported your limited ideas of like nation state. But you weren't actually concerned about their livelihood or being in relationship with them. And now that you're leaving, you experience a critical loss.
Yeah.
But it's a loss of comfort. You're not really concerned about like, oh shit, they might get sent back to a war zone, or like maybe there's a reason that they have to move, or like maybe there's any number of factors.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And even if it just came down to like, I want to live here and not there, that is a human right, and that it's not an abstraction. Like it affects real people and real bodies and real families.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that the face of this issue is becoming clearer because we're hearing more and more stories of people, like individual stories of who's been affected and how. So it's not just a Morpheus sort of issue, but you're starting to see the coverage of these lives that are being affected. And so you have faces and you have names and you have families and people that you can put in your mind when you think of these policies, when you think of these entities. And I mean, I'm hoping that the people who previously weren't concerned about it or affected by it and therefore out of sight, out of mind, are starting to gain sympathy and want to be a part of the solution to ending this kind of cycle of treatment that these immigrants are dealing with. I remember after the election, I reached out to a friend of mine who's here illegally, technically.
Illegal.
Right.
As though
bullshit,
not real status.
Right, exactly, yes. And so...
Sorry, I hate that word.
No, yeah, as you should. And I was like, what can I do for you? Like, I wanted to know how I could be helpful to her, and she was like, live your life, I'm going to live mine, and I'm going to do whatever I can. And I can't imagine the kind of stress that she's under. And because I know someone personally who I've known for years, I have a different relationship to the situation than someone who, like I said before, is just impervious to it. But I still feel useless in a lot of ways.
Do you think that it's possible? Because I mean, like, let's be real, too. Like, we're also people of color. We're two black people. Do you think that it's possible for white people like white people who are living in white isolation, to have that same deep recognition of humanity and not think of people as abstractions who need to be reported. And like drawing on like socio-political definitions of white supremacy, like we don't have to explain all of that, but like it's not like, oh, we hate white people. It's that like white supremacy is a systemic evil that has specific mindsets and constructs. And so to rephrase my question, like if a person living in and believing in those constructs who is not around people of color, is it feasible that they could somehow in this empire have a revolution that would allow them to see the humanity of immigrants and not see them as objects to be deported?
That's a great question. And I think that whatever the answer to that question is key to getting like the middle America, Bible Belt area to change and be on the right side of history. Because I can't think of how you would be able to find a way to make that connection when you don't have any interactions with people of color or immigrants, and you're only surrounded by other people who are like you. And I would go on to say your connection to the outside world is probably Fox News, unfortunately. And so you're getting a certain version of the truth. I mean, the phrase fake news has been thrown around a lot, and now that there is this war on the media from the 45th, it's making it even more difficult for people to trust news resources to begin with that aren't Fox News and Breitbart and these kinds of places. So the people who are reporting these human stories that I was talking about before, those stories aren't getting to the people who really need to hear them.
Now here's a question.
Yeah.
Just to like complicate it.
Yeah.
Or maybe like two things. So one, I want to say that like, if you're like the random white kid in the middle of Indiana who's like, no, I totally think this is all bullshit, but it's only me, like, kudos to you, but that also means that you've invested from white supremacy, right? So like, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Whoever. But I also wonder, like, our narrative, or the liberal narrative received, is that, thank you, is that nobody else knows, right? And so that there are whole pockets that are only getting Fox News.
Yeah.
It may or may not actually be true. You know, like, it doesn't mean that there's not like mass deception and like systemic evil, but we don't actually know. Just like the one of the conservative spins is that, you know, we all just, I don't know what we do. We're all heathens, and
Yeah.
we only watch CNN, or you know what I mean, like, which is not actually. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, what do we do with the fact that we don't even really know? Because I think that's what I'm really curious about, is like, I'm not worried about like the random kid in the middle of Indiana who like decides that they don't believe in anything, and that like I'm not worried about that person.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to ask is like how extreme, what is the extremity of absolutism that we think that we have bought into across the country, and in particular, what is the extremity of absolutism in a style of white supremacy, and is it practical? Because I don't think that we can say that different types of absolutism are the same, because it's not true.
Yeah.
But I do think that there are silos of absolutism that we have to sort of like start to disavow if we want any chance of like breaking through to anyone or any sort of like cross conversation. There has to be a moment where I believe that there really is some kid in Indiana who loves everybody regardless of what they're surrounded with. You know, like I don't know anything about Indiana actually.
Yeah,
So like real
so
talk, like I can't assume you guys could be socialists. I don't know.
Right.
I've never been there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that and a bunch of cows. I like cows though.
I do like cows.